We live in a world that demands relentless efficiency. We are trained to optimize our routines, maximize our output, and conform to structures that expect us to lock into place like teeth on a gear. But when we strip away spontaneity to serve that machine, we lose something vital. We exile playfulness, and in return, we are left exhausted, bored, and wandering through an internal landscape that feels entirely sterile. The ancient Romans had a word for the exact opposite of this rigid state: fullus. It literally translates to a pair of bellows, the essential tool used to pump oxygen into a dying fire. Over time, that word evolved into fool. Breaking out of our modern paralysis means we have to let that fool pump some air back into our lives. We have to be willing to drop the heavy armor of the serious, productive adult and risk looking a little stupid. In the tarot deck, this archetype is assigned a very specific place, the number 0. It is the blank slate, the starting point for the long process of self-realization. Look at this 1909 tarot card, titled Der Narr. We see a brightly dressed figure gazing up at the sky, happily stepping right toward the edge of a cliff. In Zen Buddhism, there is a concept called shoshin, or beginner's mind. The expert's mind is closed, burdened by what it already knows. But the beginner's mind, much like this figure, is wide open to every possibility. While the figure appears completely reckless, he isn't walking alone. Notice the small white dog leaping at his heels. When the intellect checks out, our basic animal instinct steps in to provide the warnings our rational mind misses. That willingness to blindly step off the edge of social conformity is not a mistake. It is the mandatory first leap into the unknown, required to learn anything new about ourselves. We often confuse being wise with being sophisticated. People who consider themselves wise learn to craft lies and wear social masks to navigate the world. The natural fool lacks that filter. They possess a simplicity that forces them to speak the raw, unvarnished truth. In medieval courts, no one could criticize the monarch without risking their life. The court jester solved this problem. By trading away their dignity and dressing in absurd clothes, they earned the unique privilege to mock the king directly. Their outward foolishness acted as a shield for absolute authenticity. Now, this vibrant image of the Joker playing card shows a classic jester, complete with bells and a motley outfit. But psychology draws a sharp line between the innocent fool and the intentional trickster. A trickster sets traps to laugh at the misfortune of others. The fool, however, is happy to be the butt of the joke. By laughing at himself, the fool shatters the tension in a room. He disarms the rigid personas of everyone watching, creating a shared vulnerability that brings genuine relief to an anxious crowd. Because the fool navigates the world with their heart instead of their mind, they bypass the overthinking that paralyzes the rest of us. They rush in where the hyper-rational mind freezes in terror. This early 20th century illustration perfectly captures the ultimate literary fool, Don Quixote. We see him in full armor, charging his horse directly toward a windmill he genuinely believes is a giant. He pursues his noble ideals with complete disregard for reality, driven entirely by his romantic heart. In this archival portrait, we see the Russian novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky. He explored a similar theme in his novel The Idiot. His protagonist, Prince Mishkin, is a man so purely innocent and open-hearted that a cold, manipulative society can only label him a fool. Here is the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung in his study. Jung identified this dynamic using the inferior function, the unpolished and unadapted part of our psyche. He argued that because this childish side of the personality remains behind, it retains an original wholeness that links our conscious identity back to the depths of the psyche. This creates the paradox of the wise fool. Because they aren't weighed down by academic conventions or the need to look smart, the simple-minded can stumble into truths that intellectuals spend lifetimes trying to uncover. True wisdom, it turns out, is rarely found by stacking up more library books. It is found in the heart's capacity to remain pure, spontaneous, and uncorrupted by the world. In the Arthurian legend of Parsifal, the young hero visits a kingdom that looks much like this barren landscape. It is ruled by the Fisher King, a monarch who suffers from a severe, unhealing wound. This myth is a direct mirror for the psychological paralysis of modern adulthood. The king's wound does not kill him, but it renders him totally infertile. Worse, it makes him incapable of participating in any of the beauty, holiness, or joy that surrounds him in his own castle. In Jungian psychology, this wound mirrors our shift from naive childhood into adult self-consciousness. As we take on the pressure of daily events and social expectations, we often trade our capacity for spontaneous joy for the burden of awareness, leaving the internal world sterile and frozen. No amount of money, external success, or perfectly calculated logic can mend this damage. A frozen internal world requires a cure from an entirely different source. In the legend, the Fisher King is finally healed when Parsifal, the naive young fool, returns to the castle. Parsifal drops all the rigid rules he was taught about how a knight is supposed to act and simply asks the suffering king a sincere, open-hearted question. Because the fool is free from the need to protect a social persona, he is uniquely capable of bypassing the intellectual defenses that keep us trapped. By acting from a place of simple innocence, he addresses the root of the wound directly. This brings us back to the tarot 0. It represents the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. It reminds us that the journey toward wholeness is an endless return, where the end meets the beginning, to unite our logic with our instinct. As Carl Jung famously warned, the soul demands your folly, not your wisdom. That vulnerability is the price of admission for a whole life. When we finally stop taking ourselves so seriously, we stop living like cogs in a machine. By embracing our inner fool, we allow our oldest wounds to become the exact source of our renewal.